Howdy, howdy everybody. Chris here. We're back in the garage. And today we're going to be painting this liftgate. But today we're going to paint this like you would be painting this at home with a small compressor and a low volume, low pressure paint gun. And this is the compressor we're going to use here. You can pick this compressor up at Harbor Freight. This is a 26 gallon compressor that produces 4.5 SCFM at 90 PSI. What that basically means is you're going to be running your paint gun at about 30 PSI at the gun, which is going to increase the CFM to around 10 to 12 CFM. We're going to test this out today and spray this liftgate with this compressor and a low volume, low pressure paint gun, which consumes less air than a conventional gun. This is what I consider the perfect DIY setup. Now, we've been testing out some electric spray guns and they've done fine, but this setup is going to produce a pro style finish. So the customer did some damage to this liftgate. He tore up the windshield wiper. We did a couple little minor chips and repairs. Darius went ahead and sanded those out. We had to add a little bit of glaze to it to fill those chips. This is all plastic. And then he went ahead and primed it with some 2K primer. Sanded the entire liftgate with 600 grit sandpaper because we are going to blend this color and then clear this entire liftgate. This is the gun we'll be using here. This is the Inokraft Drizzle D1. It's a low volume, low pressure paint gun. I think it consumes about 7 to 10 CFM, but it produces less overspray, consumes less materials, and still going to give you a really quality paint job. So Darius is going to finish up prepping this out. We'll mask it up and we'll start painting it. Now what we're going to do is wash this down with isopropyl alcohol one last time. We'll tack rag it off. So this is a tri-stage paint. We got the base coat here. As far as the gun settings on this low volume, low pressure paint gun, I'm going to go 2.5 turns out from closed on the fluid volume right here. The fan pattern is going to be wide open. I'm going to narrow it back just probably about 1/4 of a turn. And as far as the air pressure, it's going to be around 19 PSI, somewhere around there, 20. We are going to use this compressor right here, which is the Harbor Freight Fortress compressor. Perfect DIY compressor if you're looking for something to paint a vehicle or just do repairs around your house. We're using isopropyl alcohol to wipe this down. We're really sweating a lot today, so if we get any sweat on this, we got to make sure that's cleaned off. We are going to apply our first coat of base on here. Now, this is a tri-stage finish, so we've got a base color, and then we've got a mid-coat pearl to put on it, and then we add our clear coat. So our first coat, we're just going to cover this primer, and then we'll let that set up for about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. It's really warm today, so it's going to flash off pretty quickly. We'll build that till we have coverage. We'll blend it out a little bit into the panel, and then we'll put our mid-coat pearl over it. Usually we only have to put 1 to 2 coats of mid-coat pearl. That's super quiet. All right, we're going to let this flash off and then we'll put another coat on. All right, second coat. No problem, it didn't even kick on. It's one thing about this, you got to put several coats on. So you can see, if you can see that, still transparent. So, and that's 2 coats, or 3 probably. Compressor finally kicked on. All right, we'll let it set up. Probably put one more coat on this. Check it with the sunlight. Yeah, you can see where it's transparent right there. Right here you can see where it's transparent. Sometimes it's tricky to see. We look under here, you can see right there. See the outline of that. All right, let that flash off. One more good coat, we should be good. Put on a little bit heavier coat, and we should be good. One more coat, we'll put on the mid coat. I got me a new sunlight. Oh, that looks really so much better, but right there, we got to get that. Oh yeah, that's better. All right, let's check it out. Still a little transparent right there. You got to be careful with this red. Now, I could have put a different color primer on there. It probably would have been better. But right there, I can still see. You get in there. It's transparent right there. Kind of blending it out. All right, let's put the pearl in. There's the pearl. That might be it. We might do one more. All right, that's perfect. Let's get ready for some clear. I'm debating whether to use the Upol or the finish one. I think I'm gonna give the Upol one more shot. I didn't like how the last one turned out. I'd like to try it with the Drizzle D1 just to see. So let's do the Upol clear coat. So here it is. This is a medium solids clear. 2882 is what it is. It's a 4-to-1 clear coat, but it's a medium solids clear. And we're going to use a slow activator. Now, when you're doing clear coat, you want to make sure you overlap in your passes about 70–80%. With this gun, our first coat, we're introducing that clear to the surface. And then the second coat is when we're going to try and slick it out. This clear coat, it is more likely to run because it's a thinner clear coat than the finish one. But it flows out a little bit better, especially in this heat. You want to be careful on the first coat. You don't want to try and overdo it, put it on too heavy on the first coat. Even in this heat, I did get a little sag on the last one. It was really minor. We're going to up the air pressure on this paint gun for clear. We want to have it at about 28 psi. Right about there, 29. I'm going to open the fluid volume up another quarter turn, so 2 3/4 turns. That should be good. That might be too much air pressure. Okay, well, we'll see. First coat, we're going to put it on medium wet, so we're not going to try and bury it in clear. right. All right, we got a nice thin wet coat of clear. We'll hit it heavier on the second coat. All right, let's let it flash off for a little bit. Yeah, I think I got pretty good in there. It started to run right there. This time I am going to hit it a little harder.
So when I talk about hitting it a little bit harder, all I mean by that is I'm going to slow down just a touch to get more material on that panel. I'm going to watch the way that clear coat lays down on the panel, make sure it's flowing out nicely. Now this particular clear flows out a little bit after you spray it because it's a thinner clear. So if you put it on with a little bit more texture than you like, chances are it's going to flow out a little bit a few minutes or a minute after you lay it down. Now the finished one clear coat, it doesn't do that as much. That pretty much holds because it's a high solids clear. I'm kicking around the idea of creating a video with some different DIY clear coats. So reasonably priced clear coats that I like, and we'll do a durability test. So it might take a while to do this. I'm thinking about spraying out several different clear coats, putting it out the sun for 6 months and seeing how they hold up. If you want to see a video like that, let me know down in the comments. I got to say the Harbor Freight compressor did a fantastic job. I haven't had any issue with it, but the one thing you want to remember, it's going to produce more moisture. So if you don't have a filtration system hooked up to it, you at least want to have a water trap on your gun. And be aware, if you're doing multiple panels, you're going to build up some heat in that motor and you may build up some moisture in the tank. Remember, I've linked all the products and tools I use in this video down in the description.
Doesn't look too bad. It looks a little heavy. Hopefully it'll flow out just a little bit. Okay, so let's take a look at this paint job. It is the next day and we sprayed this with the Inokraft Drizzle D1. And the clear coat we use is a Upol 2882, which turned out real nice. It's got a little more texture than I would like. Let's see if you can see it. It's pretty much got an OEM finish, but right there's where we did the blend. And actually the color came out beautifully. Really pretty color. It really does like to run, so be careful if you're spraying this. I would go ahead and put a tack coat on first, and then you can hit it a little bit heavier because it did start to, actually it kind of went away, but we got a little sag right here on the edge. I don't know if you can see with the light on, but right here on the edge here, there's a little bit of a sag. Here's where we took out a couple spots of dirt here, and you can see a little impression in the clear. We'll wet sand and buff that out. If we get right there, see a little impression. Oh, another little sag right here on this corner. Right here. But overall, beautiful looking finish. Clear coat held its gloss really well. Didn't seem to dye back at all. On the last one, the last video we did, the clear coat seemed to dye back just a little bit. I think I put the second coat on a little too quickly and it dyed back a little bit. But this one came out beautifully. It's been a while since I used this clear, and I'm pretty used to the Finish One FC710, which I can hammer that stuff on and it will not run. We'll cut and buff some of the dust out of this because there's a few little, we've got a particle of dust right here. But yeah, I think this would be an excellent clear for you guys. Just be careful, like I said, on the first coat. It's a very reasonably priced clear and it holds up well. It's a medium solids clear and it slicks out just a little bit better than the FC710. And in these conditions, which are, you know, summer conditions with hot temperatures, this clear coat really works well. We may do some tests on the durability of this clear against the Finish One. Remember, if you're looking for a digital guide to help you with your repair or restoration project, I've got those guides available at garagenoisegear.com. Very inexpensive. These are guides I put together to help you guys with the process of doing body filler, of spraying clear coat, of doing blends, straightening metal. We've got all kinds of different guides on there that are available to you, very reasonably priced. Check them out, help support the channel, and it'll give you a good reference tool so you can get the process down. Because I know it's hard to go back and rewatch videos and try and get the details of what I've been telling you. So listen, I appreciate each and every one of you watching. Definitely, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, like this video. We're almost at 100K. I appreciate all your guys' support, and we'll see you on the next episode of Garage Noise.